From Turkey, Texas to Cranberry, PA, from Spuds, Florida to Pie Town, New Mexico, let's ride. We want to ride shotgun with you for the next hour, talking trucking with Dean and Doty, Christian and Kumar, Joel and Ian, and Austin and the Highwayman. How's it going, everybody?
Howdy.
Hello.
I see what you did there, Russ. I see what you did there with the cities and states.
Yeah, you like that?
Maybe hungry week.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Coming up.
Now I'm hungry.
I know. I've been, you know, it's funny when we get near Thanksgiving. I walked in the grocery store yesterday and they had like trays of turkey sliced with stuffing and gravy already put out, prepared at the grocery store. Like you could buy it. And I was so tempted. I'm like, I really want that right now, but I don't want to spoil it for Thanksgiving. I don't want to eat too much turkey ahead of time. So I passed, but it's my favorite holiday.
I don't know why we don't put marshmallows on top of sweet potatoes all year round.
Right?
What?
Or that, what do they call it? The funeral potatoes. It's the potato casserole. That's what they call it up here. Potato casserole with like shredded hash brown potatoes, and cheese and sour cream in it. Oh, it's so good. Yeah, I'm excited for Thanksgiving.
Is that
So,
why you came back?
Yeah, didn't want to miss it.
Who's cooking?
Well, we've been so tired, man. I told Tina last night, oh, we're probably going to cook ourselves. But I told Tina, I said, why don't we I just started looking online. You can have Thanksgiving dinner catered. I said, I'm going to make some calls tomorrow. The places were closed last night when I was looking, but I'm like, that would seriously be worth it this year after we just got a lot on our plate right now. And it's been really busy. And we still got some things we got to do at the camper, and it's in the storage down the street, but
Number one kitchen will be open. So
number one kitchen, number one Chinese.
What about
talking to the
Al's
top of the
Quality
mic,
Market?
Ian. This turkey's dry.
That's much better, Ian.
Hello?
Yeah.
Like this?
Yes.
Well, awkward.
So, Mike, what's been going on? It's a busy season for shrimping, and
Yeah, we're getting, I mean, for Florida in general down here, it's all the snowbirds start coming.
yeah.
So we're
How many
starting to see a
accidents a
lot
day do
more
you guys have there?
tourists and stuff right now. Probably
You know what I
through,
noticed? I think
March.
I mentioned this when we were on the road with the RV. When we were up north, like in Idaho and Utah and Montana, we'd go into a campground and it would be empty. There'd be like just a scattered amount of campers in there, and you could get the nicest, best sites anywhere you want. And then when we got down to Phoenix, forget about it. Forget about it, Joel.
Yeah.
They were packed.
Forget about it.
Yeah.
That's the way the campgrounds down here. If you would have came, I don't know if you would have found a spot.
Yeah. That's what my parents said too, that, they go to Naples every year. They got a spot that they own, but, they said the same thing. Yeah. Florida, you gotta either buy a spot, I guess, like they did, or
Fight.
have something leased, way ahead of time.
Yeah.
So, well, how's it going in Roanoke, Christian? Is it cold?
It's today. Yeah, it's a little chilly the last couple days, but we'll take it. We get all 4 seasons here.
Yeah.
You guys will be wearing sweatshirts, and we'll be back to short sleeves here in about a week. It'll be fine. Everything will
We're
be just
freezing
fine.
up here right now.
Are you really?
Yeah, it's been kind of flurry, little flurries outside today. But yeah, it's been cold since I got home. Cold, like 20s, late and
Freezing.
30s. Yeah.
Well, the good news is
I wasn't ready for it, but it's here.
Hmm.
They're
We had
talking
Joy-
about, look, go ahead, Christian.
no. So we had Joy that we give a shout out. She quit smoking 4 weeks ago now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
Congratulations.
it's
Joy.
really important to her. It's also important to our power bill during the winter because when you go in and out that front door all the time,
You lose
puts all
your
that
heat.
cold air in. Yeah, so no, but big shout out to Joy. She's been smoking for a long time, and that's a big accomplishment. So
Joy, I know. Joy, keep it up. I'm proud of you. I know, and because right here sitting on my desk, I bought it yesterday, Christian. The patch. I'm gonna try, Joy. I'm gonna try.
that looks like a pregnancy test, right? You want to tell us something?
Well, that's the other box. Anyway. But it's a difficult thing.
Yeah.
And Joel did it. He did the same thing, the patch, and
Pocket that 9
a few
bucks
years
a pack.
back. Yeah. And I was really proud of Joel, and he stays on me about it. You got to put those things down, and I know I do. So
Yeah.
I did on my own. No one's trying to.
And I still cough.
Yeah.
Well, I'd offer her at one point just to pay her to stop. Like I said, look, I'll give you an amount, but I told her I'd pay $1,000 to stop. She said, I'd love to, but I just can't.
I understand.
And so I removed that offer like 6 to 8 months ago. I say, hey, offer's void. You didn't take me up on it. She randomly walks in with like a vape. She's like a vape queen. She has, just to work the nicotine out of her body and everything else, so it doesn't blow up on her. And and that was it. I said, hey, offer's dead. She's like, it doesn't matter. I feel great and I'm not going back. So
that's great.
Yeah. Super excited.
Well, we're proud of you, Joy. That's really, really great. Keep it up. So, Joel.
Pasta.
Go Jets, huh? How about them Jets?
About them Giants.
You know what?
Talks about the NFC team in New York.
I know, but I'm more of I don't care about the Giants. I didn't care about the Jets. Funny thing, Christian, I was on the phone with Ryan Spoonmore yesterday, and I've been saying this all year about the Jets coach, Robert Saleh.
Yep.
That I told Tina as soon as I saw him at the beginning of the year,
brother.
he looks exactly like Ryan
they're identical.
Spoonmore.
They're identical.
Right?
Yeah.
So, and then we were talking about something, and then it came up. Football came up because Ryan and I will talk a little football, and he said no, actually, because he's a Raiders fan, and I like the Raiders, and they're in the toilet like the Browns. He goes, no, actually, I'm a Jets fan now. I'm like, what? And he goes, yeah, Nikki Nikki and everybody out here thinks I look like the coach. So now me and Nikki are Jets fans since I look like him. And I thought that was I said, well, actually, I'm kind of a Jets fan now, too, because the Browns are in the toilet. And I just jumped on Christian's bandwagon because
just come on. Hey, guys,
I like
we can
underdogs.
Use you.
I like underdog teams.
Yeah. And their helmets look sharp this year.
They look good.
We're doing all right.
And man, what are they? 6-7-1, Joel?
But we're a Vikings fan now.
6-2.
Well, yeah, and then
I like the Vikings too. Now, after what happened, that was the game of the century in my mind. Buffalo against the Minnesota Vikings. Did anyone see that Sunday?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The end. Oh man. And the Browns game, I had to turn. They were getting crushed by Miami. So I turned it off. Turned the end of I didn't watch the whole game, but the end was what you wanted to watch. The last 5-8 minutes of that Buffalo game, it was incredible. It was. They called the game of the year already. It was just incredible.
Stay tuned to that Browns-Bills game this weekend. 4 feet of snow.
Yeah, they're talking about 7 feet of snow in Buffalo this weekend. Yeah, that's 3 hours from here.
So you guys are 3-6. The Browns, they have the same record as the Broncos.
Yeah.
But the Raiders are like 2-7 or something, right?
Yeah.
They're like, they're at the bottom.
Derek Carr was in his press conference. He was crying. Did you see that?
I saw the link. I did not click the bait, but I saw the link.
Oh, it was real.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a sad situation. That's why I was talking to Ryan about it, and he was like, "No, I'm not even sad about it anymore. I'm a Jets fan because I look like Robert Saleh."
Welcome aboard.
Yeah, it's great. So, Highwayman Ray, where are you at?
I'm on the 70 somewhere. I just came out of Baltimore, picked up a load down there.
Oh,
load of tractors. Yeah. Yeah, and I got caught up in a snowstorm yesterday and going up to McElhanna, Pennsylvania. So
I saw the
cut me short of making my delivery yesterday.
I saw the pictures you sent. You sent Austin some pictures of it snowing.
Yeah. It unfortunately, there's a few accidents out there and couldn't make my delivery on time, so I had to shut it down and deliver the next morning.
Yeah, well, safety first, especially this time of year. Kevin, Nate, did Nate make it?
Yeah, I'm on here.
What's up, Nate?
What's going on?
I missed you, brother.
Been a minute.
I rolled really close through Shelbyville, your hometown.
On your way back home.
Yeah, I told Tina this is where right up there. It was I saw the sign for it. So yeah, that's where Nate lives.
Yep.
Where are you at,
Surrounded
Nate?
by nothing but corn and soybeans. Currently in Birmingham, Alabama.
Okay. Nice and warm down there.
It's not too bad.
Yeah.
I'll trade with you.
Where are you at, Kevin?
Green Bay.
Just come through St. Louis,
Yeah.
headed to Dexter, Iowa.
Ooh.
Man, when I was coming home, we were driving hard to get here. I was worried about St. Louis because you hit that at the wrong time. coming up 44 and then to get on the, was that 55 to the 70 to get across into Illinois. And I was really dreading hitting traffic. I got through there at like 1:30, 2 o'clock in the afternoon and sailed right through there. I told Tina, I said, we got lucky. That's because if we would have came through there at rush hour, we'd have been sitting for hours. I hated that place during traffic hour. Where are you at, Jim?
I am in Anamosa, Iowa. I just got done visiting Mom for a little bit.
Yeah, how's Mom?
She's fine. I gave her that shirt you sent to her, and she really loved it and told to tell everybody thank you.
Oh, cool. You should have took a picture of her with it.
I thought about it, but it's too late. I'm already gone. I can't take my trailer there. I have to drop it at Walmart.
Yeah.
And Bobtail. And she said, tell everybody hi, though.
Yeah. Well, tell her we said hi.
I will when I talk to her tonight.
And happy Thanksgiving. Let her know.
I will. Thank you.
Creature.
Yo.
What's up? How you doing, Creature?
Been better, been worse.
Yeah, we could all say that at times. Where are you at?
Getting loaded at Coca-Cola out here in Oregon.
Oh, okay.
Just now.
Going to beautiful Montana.
Yeah.
Night driving. Huh?
That was a pretty decent
nice and
wait.
warm up here.
Oh, Traveling Mike's with us.
What's up, Mike?
How's it going, Mike?
Doing pretty good. Just sitting home, looking out my front window at all the deer in my front yard.
What about snow? Are you getting snow?
We had some a couple of days ago. We still got about 6 inches on the ground.
Oh, okay.
Highways are clear, but the grass and stuff's still covered.
Well, good to have you back, Mike.
Thank you.
So, what has been going on in the world of trucking news, Ian? And Christian, if he says there's nothing going on this weekend, you know, it's $50 to St. Jude's.
Well, guys, it's been a pretty slow
$25.
All right.
All right, working off Russ's laptop today, so excuse me if I have any technical difficulties.
I saw a guy dancing on top of a semi that got knocked off and killed.
Oh, we'll get there.
Jeez,
we got some other fun stuff.
Spoiler alert.
Just making sure that made the news.
It's school bus transporting high school hockey team. So this happened over in Illinois. The Chicago hockey team from St. Ignatius College Prep was traveling along, and they were hit by a truck, and apparently the driver was drunk. My favorite part about this article was I found a typo in here, which doesn't happen very often on news articles. So, yeah. So, let's see. It caused the bus to do a total 180 and roll over onto its side. So, somebody's in a lot of trouble.
Normally, the only thing you find in articles like that is a bunch of grammar errors.
Yeah, no, there's a extra character in there. Okay, another accident here. This one was over in Indiana on the toll road. This guy apparently had some kind of marijuana in his cab. He's now being charged for that. He's from New York. Come on, guys. Keep it on the road. Keep the drugs and alcohol out of the cab. All right, here we go. Mild recession coming, but trucking should weather it. I don't know about you guys, but this doesn't seem like a mild recession with the rates. This seems like a total nosedive into the side of a cliff.
It's not easy.
Yeah. What do you guys think? I don't think it's mild.
Who's that guy? James?
Christian, what are you seeing on the horizon? What do you think?
I don't want to call James names. I think that there's always a recovery period. You know, and I think that's what we're seeing right now. I don't think it's going to ease up. I think that it's going to be about where it's at right now. We're not going to see any kind of weekly holiday spike or anything else. I think contract rates are going to adjust a little bit. We can get into that a little more when we're with the subject that you want to bring up later, Russ. But yeah, I would say he's poised to be very conservative estimate and
very.
But you know, I respect his opinion. I hope he's right. Maybe he's looking at data and has I don't know how you have a mild recession. I mean, let's look at the definition of a recession as negative GDP, which means our economy is shrinking and
A little bit.
and not doing well. So I mean,
A little bit
yeah, I don't know, but we can get into those details later when we talk about the other discussions. I think they'd be more relevant. But yeah, I'd just pass on his advice.
Yeah. I mean, personally, I don't see it coming out until next spring. I don't see anything changing. Embark has started running autonomous trucks coast to coast, or they are launching it. We're going to see this more and more as.
So who's Embark? Is that the company, the manufacturer?
Embark Trucks. So I would assume that they are the manufacturer of the technology gets added to the truck.
Okay.
So they don't make the truck; they just add all of their stuff to it.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. So I know we've been talking about this before, maybe intrastate, maybe across Texas, but now that these guys are saying they're doing it coast to coast. So it's coming faster and faster, boys.
I saw an interesting article the other day about this company that would take 2 drivers and 2 trucks, and they would put the driver in the first truck. The second truck was autonomous, but the driver was in it and he was on break, sleeping. And then and they would follow each other. So in other words, there is a driver in it.
Yeah.
But it's controlled by the first truck's action. Right.
So it's called platooning, I think, right?
I'm not sure what they
I read about that where they do that, and it's called platooning, where one truck's following the other.
Yeah, and the driver in the second truck, he's actually on off-duty time taking a break.
Wow.
And then he can go up to the front truck while the front truck goes back on break.
Right.
So
as far as autonomous truck goes, I think that's the safest.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, you need to have somebody in there in case something goes wrong. They just don't have to be doing something all the time.
Well, plus, who's going to sign your level 1 inspection at the DOT office?
And one thing I did just notice in this article is that they're not actually running coast to coast. They have transfer points all along the way: Dallas, El Paso, Atlanta, Jacksonville. So that's where they're stopping.
Yeah, just small cities, nobody around it. That's good.
Yeah.
If anybody looked at the ATA Management Conference and Exhibit in San Diego for Kenworth and Peterbilt, they just showed their Aurora driver level 4 autonomous that they're planning on rolling out in 2 years.
What is it? What is that?
Kenworth and Peterbilt both designed their own autonomous equipment and made it basically functional to their truck. It actually, instead of just adding aftermarket equipment, they actually built their trucks to where it integrates it into the body design. It actually looks kind of cool.
Yeah. And we're going to see more and more of that.
So is that their concept truck?
It's the T680 and the 587, so I'm guessing it's the concepts. They also unveiled, Peterbilt unveiled another truck, the Super Truck 2.
Oh, okay.
Which
we're getting there. Okay. Hold on.
Stealing second spoiler alert.
Pump the brakes. Look at that. Hey. I was going to ask, I know you guys like Peterbilts. What do you guys think of this one? This doesn't look like any Peterbilt.
Looks like a Transformer logo on the front.
Yeah.
It looks like a Tesla truck and another one of these other electric trucks got together and had a baby. And
similar to that long nose test that we put on our show.
Side profile. I'm not mad at the side profile. It looks,
it looks like a Volvo kind of from the side. Doesn't it?
I don't know. Step. How's anyone getting in that thing?
Oh, wait till you see the inside of it.
You float in it. You don't have to get in it. This is the future.
Here we go. We're gonna get banned. Oh, it didn't even pull up. Okay. So
that's just an all electric truck.
No, it's a hybrid.
Oh, it's a hybrid. Okay.
It's got really small.
Yeah, it's a diesel electric hybrid, and it's a center seater, single seat, center of the cab.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, locomotives have been doing hybrids for years.
The center seat is the center seat. I can't wrap my mind around it. Probably need to sit in it and kind of, one time just to kind of wrap my mind around it, because the Tesla semi is center seat.
It looks like it's only 6 feet wide, guys. That's the thing that gets me. It looks like it's very narrow.
Yeah, it does. Definitely does.
Where does your wife sit if she comes with you?
On the hood.
Well, they're not expecting drivers in the future to have any wives because we're all going to be broke. And
They would have issued one.
Yeah, most truck drivers are divorced anyways, right?
If anyone's leave it right there. And if anybody ever wonders why we have such an expeditious route to this, it says Cummins is a part of the U.S. Department of Energy Super Truck Program. The goal of the Super Truck Program is to increase freight ton efficiency in order to meet greenhouse gas emission standards. So it's driven by the government. I'm not throwing any conspiracy theories, but when the government gets behind something, it's going to move whether you want it to or not.
Yeah.
And I'd just like to remind everybody the Max Force engine real quick. Okay, I'm ready.
Yep. Why? What happened with that?
Yeah, it's only-
All right, here we go, Mike. Oh man.
Oh, you got the video. I was looking for this.
It's the second one.
So what?
That happened right there. That's when he's still on top of it.
This one's
Oh my lord.
Is that the guy that got run over by the same truck?
Oh, it doesn't show it.
Yeah, we don't need to watch
That's
that.
good. Yeah, we don't need to see it.
That
It's
guy
not
died.
Faces of Death trucking edition.
This is why we need to get rid of TikTok.
So this is what happened. He was dancing on the top of this truck and he got killed.
Yeah. And like Kumar just said, TikTok and another TikTok craze. Thank you, China. We need to get rid of TikTok.
Where was that at? In Florida?
He danced himself to death.
The guy was probably from Florida, though.
Yeah, it's right from Florida.
It seems like a Florida man.
I moved here from Ohio.
CDL.
Oh man. So yeah,
that's sad.
Don't
That
follow internet trends just to get clout.
So that's all that they don't know anything else. Well, why?
Yeah,
like,
your trailer.
Just because of TikTok.
Yeah. Oh, he was recording a TikTok.
Yes.
Wow.
Or somebody was recording him.
Wow.
So did he fall off the truck while he was dancing? What happened?
The
He hit
bridge
the
took
bridge.
him off, and then
He died.
Yeah, see, I didn't realize it. It was that whole TikTok thing. I thought it was just, I mean, obviously being stupid, but
Well, that's what I thought, Mike.
He had to talk.
Yeah, because they were talking about it on the news, but they didn't mention nothing about a TikTok video. They're just
Yeah, I
saying
thought it
they
was just
fell
like
down
the-
and they got run over by the truck.
Remember the guys that were riding on the back of the flatbeds we showed on here months back? That's what I thought. It was just someone, messing around, but he was actually trying to make a video. That's stupid.
There were kids at
Both are
one point that were doing like the do you guys remember the Subway Surfer game on iPhones and all that?
Mm-hmm.
There were kids running around on top of trains.
Wow.
Yep. Check your trailers.
So
That's bien pendejo.
On to our next article. This is an article here on NPR that was about high school kids learning how to drive, which got no real problem with kids out there learning more and getting more opportunities. But it's also a really good sign of your economy when you're trying to make kids do more work. So just want to touch on this. This is a high school program over in Maryland.
Super single.
So, I mean, I'm all for like technical education, vocational type of things for high schoolers. And I don't think that's a bad way to go.
No.
I mean, you're probably not putting them on the road at 18, right? They're not changing the law they got to be 21.
Well, no. You have to be 21 to cross state lines. You can be 18 and drive interstate.
In every state?
Yeah.
I don't know about every state, but
it's on the company.
Probably.
I know you can North Carolina because I got my CDL at 18.
Wow.
Yeah, Texas too. You have to be 18 to drive interstate.
But I don't think it's a bad thing at all. I mean, there's a lot of need in this country for the transportation industry, and you got people that can, in high school, they can do these vocational or type of training. I mean,
I agree with you, Russ. I think of it. Oh, go ahead, Ray.
No, I was just gonna say, who do you think delivers all the beer for Budweiser and Miller? They're all 18, 19, 20-year-old kids.
Yeah. Just got their CDL.
What were you saying?
They're delivery drivers.
Yeah, I agree with Russ. I think it'll bring a lot of awareness to some of the risks, but also, the industry in general. I think the more that we can do to educate not just the four-wheelers on the road, and that's part of it, right? But I mean, if you've been in and around an 18-wheeler, you respect it a lot more than somebody else is just flying down the road, doing a 3-lane change.
Yeah.
So, and not only that, but when you start to learn about mechanics and these things, it's different than textbook learning. So yeah, I'm all about it. That's great.
And not only that, like there's a whole nother side to just driving a truck, the whole logistics side of the industry. If a guy goes through these vocational programs there and maybe does drive for a while and then decides to, educate himself more. And there's just so many opportunities. The industry is huge. So I think it's a good thing. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It might even be something that we can possibly see in the future of doing here ourselves. I would like to see that. We have to talk to the city.
That's how they're going to drive the trucks in the future.
Right.
Right there
at home.
Yeah, like a drone.
Yeah, exactly.
You're a remote working truck driver.
He's delivering a load right now.
We're gonna see that. That's no joke. All right, a little more serious topic here besides the other stuff we're talking about. Werner has made another acquisition. This was a huge deal. They've acquired Reed TMS, which is another big logistics company. $112 million. I feel like every single week we do this, I have to go through articles about acquisitions and mergers. I think that's something that the trucking industry really needs to be aware of. Monopolies. I mean, it's going to end up in 5 years with two companies, scary stuff. What do you guys think?
I don't think that's the case. I mean, I get where you're coming from. But, yeah, I mean, well, and so think about the big ones out there. Those big companies have been merging acquisitions and different things.
Exactly. They just keep absorbing everything.
Smaller companies, yeah.
And now we're in a market now where it's hard for these small companies to survive, and they're going to gobble up more and more during this time period. So,
but I mean, that's just business, though.
Yeah, I agree with that.
91% of all trucks in this country have 6 or less. And it says 2.6% of fleets comprise more than 20 vehicles. So that's the percentage of fleets, not the percentage of trucks on the road, but that's the percentage of fleets. I would agree. I think that some of this goes with the discussion that we're going to have later, but I do think that we are going to see a systematic change in smaller carriers and larger ones based off of, customer relationships and things like that, because whether it's sustainable in a fluctuating market is different than a stable market, which we've been used to for outside of 2 years of the last 25.
Yeah. So something to keep an eye on. Oh, here we go. Truck stops will soon need the same amount of power as a small town if electrified rigs continue. They're going to have a lot of power going to these truck stops. There's going to be a whole new infrastructure that is going to need to happen. You see it here and there with, a couple chargers going into truck stops, but at some point it's going to be every single spot's going to need a charger, and that's going to harness so much energy.
I've said it once, I'll say it 1,000,000 times. Nuclear solves the energy crisis.
I can argue with that.
Yep, nuclear is the best way to go. Cleanest way to go too.
It's also the safest way to go, especially if you do pebble bed reactors.
Yeah, but it's going to take time to build that. It's going to take time to build all those nuclear reactors, and right now we don't have all of that, so we're going to burn dirty energy, coal, to get the energy we need.
Yeah, but I mean, that's not even that's not even the biggest problem that we're facing. It's the fact of politicians and these new generations are so scared of nuclear, they won't even consider the idea.
Yep. That's exactly what I was going to say. Nuclear power's biggest obstacle is government.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that don't want
keep it real.
Nuclear to happen. Of course, you got the people who think it's a safety hazard, and then you got the people who don't want to lose their jobs in oil and petroleum. So I get it. But yeah, it's going to happen no matter what.
Well, it's more or less along the lines of people are too afraid to have another Chernobyl or 3 Mile Island incident on their hands than anything else. I think.
Yeah. We got to move on. We got to stop thinking like that. Oh, well. And here we go. This is talking about this. Pilot and Volvo are partnering together to work on this network. we'll see what happens. I would imagine they're also getting government funding like Peterbilt. We probably don't have to look too far into this article to find that, but yeah, they are working together, and we will see what they come up with. And here we go. It's not working. Anyways, this cat locked this driver out of his cab. Jim, you ever have that happen?
No, my cats are trained not to do that.
Laura does it to me about twice a week.
Yeah, he stepped on the lock right there. When he says it's snowing too, and his cat locked him out.
Is that the fuel aisle?
Yeah, that happened to my driver, Michael. He called me up saying that.
Oh, his
he
dog.
called me up saying, yeah, he got locked out of the truck. I said, how did you get locked out of the truck? Those, Peterbilts and Kenworths are they're made to prevent that from happening. And he said, no, my dog locked me out. Okay, that's a different story.
That's funny.
Ate my homework.
Yeah. Luckily, I think he borrowed a key from another driver with a Kenworth, and it happened to open
Yeah,
the
because
door.
a lot of those will interchange and they'll work.
Yeah.
But he held an extra one in his pocket.
All right.
I always carry an extra key in my wallet. I carry one in the truck and have one on my belt.
Yeah.
So you're never locked out.
No, never. I had that happen one time and it never happened again.
Yeah, I hid one on my
You leave your
truck.
pants in your truck.
I had one hid always on my truck because I've always been paranoid about locking myself out of a vehicle, and I've never done it, but maybe because I was paranoid, I always kept a spare.
Yeah, I've locked myself out of my house a few times, and thankfully I've always had a spare key, but I've been living for like the past 6 months without a spare key outside, and I just know it's only a matter of time.
Well, I have locked myself out of the house and had to break in the man door on the garage, and I ruined the door and I had to get a new door. And it wasn't not good, but so since then I got the key coded doors.
Yeah.
So you got to put in your, however many digit numbers and it just unlocks. And I love it because it's keyless.
And if you ever can't remember that, then you're really messed up.
Yeah.
Break another door.
Yeah.
Or window.
All right, Ian, knocking out the news.
Hey.
Yeah, you had some news this week.
Thank you, Kumar, for helping me with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Mike, Christian, let's get into this a little bit. Company or owner op, to be or not to be. Drivers, what do you think? Just kind of dawned on me, I've been thinking about different things like that. I've been both. I just kind of wanted to see what your guys' opinion are these days. Ray, Kevin, Nate.
Yeah, so the way I look at it, I don't see anything wrong with doing either or. I mean, a lot of it has to do with what you're willing to, how much stress you want to take on in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are just happy, running the truck and not having to think about all the costs or expenses of operating a business, and it's a good thing, if that's what you want to do, because
that's a key point. What you said, Ray. If you're not willing to do what he just said, watching your numbers, knowing everything to the penny, your costs, everything. If you're not willing to do that, you should not be in the owner operator game. You should not be in business for yourself. You should be a company driver, and it's not for everybody. So there's a place for both. But Mike, I know you're right. We've had this conversation a million times, right? He's ready to go.
No, I mean, I agree with Ray. Everybody,
100%.
You got to fit what fits you, or you got to find what fits you best. That's first and foremost. Second, if you are an owner operator, even if you don't know your numbers to the T, or even if as long as you're happy doing what you're doing and you're happy with your paycheck or whatever, but if you don't understand the expenses and what comes with being an owner operator, and every week you're just, pointing the finger and crying about this and this, and, because a lot of it comes from misunderstanding, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I first started, I thought I knew everything, didn't know nothing, everybody's, what is this chart? This chart is crazy. And then as I learned more and the expenses and everything that goes along with it, okay, let me wrap my head around all this, and rather than just you get your check and just you know, I can't, it just drives me nuts. The guys that just whine every week, then go be a company driver.
Yeah, I agree with that. Because Mike, if you look at it, and Christian, I know you would agree with this too. If you look at it like I'm just here to collect a paycheck, but I want to be an owner operator, you're in the wrong field or in the wrong job. You should be a company driver. If you, no matter, and I've said this a million times to guys, if you opened a brick and mortar store, the only way you could feed your family and make a living is that you need to be open and people walk in the door, and you've got to buy things so that you can sell them in that store. So you have to know what you're paying for it, know what your expenses are, know what the heat bill is, the light bill, everything. And then it's the same as in trucking as an owner operator. You have to know those things, or you're not just going to open a brick and mortar store and just, I'm going to collect the check. And if my check's not X amount of dollars this week, I'm going to be mad at my suppliers. It doesn't work that way.
No.
Yeah. And you got to grind. Sometimes it's a lot harder.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Especially right now.
Some weeks you might not make anything. You might have breakdowns, whatever the case is. You're a business owner, and sometimes businesses don't make money.
Right.
Especially if there's expenses or breakdowns or costs that go along with it. This bait shop, the kids that went before I got, I said, look, you guys are going to be working 7 days a week. If I do this, and then they figured out their schedule and stuff. But
and Mike's talking about his two grown sons.
I don't want to say no better, but they will not call in unless, they're not missing work.
Yeah.
And like I got one son that takes off here and there, and the other one recovers and the other one laughs because he says, I'm just racking up the days, and, but then he says to, my wife, could you imagine if I told Dad I got enough days to take off a month? He'd lose it. So, but it's just a grind. If you're going to be in business for yourself, it's a grind. You got to work harder than everybody else, I think.
And I'd like to add real quick too, some people make it look real easy, but I can guarantee you that there's those days that you just wonder to yourself, hey, what if I have a major breakdown? Am I going to survive it? Do I have the money to cover it? You got to think along those lines. And sometimes it's a road to worrisome. You worry a lot more than the average person. But
it is
stressful. It's stressful. But I wouldn't change it because I love the freedom that comes with it.
I think for everybody that's been in, they understand it's an investment. Kind of to Kieran Mike's point, some of it depends on your situation, right? What's your home life look like? Does your spouse support you to go work 90 hours a week or be away from the house for 2-3 weeks at a time if that's necessary, right? Can your relationship handle the burden and the stress load of having to know that the company is upside down? You got to go get $500,000 worth of debt to turn it around, or loan at the bank. But I think part of it is an investment, because it's not something that's going to be rewarded right off the bat. Typically, it's not, right? And it really boils down to, are you okay with income, or do you want to have generational wealth? And I think that when you are an entrepreneur, you decide to go out on business, you make a decision that says, not only am I wanting to compensate myself, I want to build equity over time with assets. I want to make sure I have a sustainable income level for myself and potentially offer that to other people and be rewarded for it downstream. But that reward does not come without a risk, right? And even if you're one truck operation, that every trucking company, except the ones that are funded with capital, start with one truck, right? So guys know what it's like to get behind the wheel and grind, day after day, hour after hour, and then they pay off their asset, or they have a buddy that wants to drive and thinking, hey man, I can put him in a truck and make a little bit of money on him. I think that's the beautiful part about whether you're a company driver, your employees, you get to make that decision. But there are gauges that you need to look at before you make that decision, because when your marriage goes south, or the relationship with your kids, if you open a fishing shop, because
I've already fired my oldest like 10 times.
Absolutely. And Thanksgiving can get weird. I mean, I've terminated my uncle. He was older than I was. I was 27, just getting into business, and it was difficult. But ultimately, when you want to be your own business, and you want to be the owner, those responsibilities lay with you. And just understand, the bigger you get, it doesn't mean the more profitable you get. I think that's the other thing is, okay, so I just want to get to 7 trucks. I just want to get to 20 trucks. The most amount of money that I've ever made was less than 5 trucks, right? Now, we have support systems and people in place that do make part of the lives easier, but it doesn't come without risk.
Yeah, I agree with that, Christian. I went into the bank a few times to get something notarized, and there was a new guy in there, and he saw that I was Deaton Trucking on my paperwork and on my bank account, and he said, "Oh, so you're in trucking?" And I said, "Yeah," and he goes, "How's that?" And I said, "Well, it's challenging," and I didn't really want to go into a conversation about this. I was just trying to get my stuff stamped and get out of there. I was kind of busy.
Yeah.
And he said, "Yeah, me and my wife are actually we're gonna get in it. We're gonna buy a truck and put a driver in it." And I kind of paused for a second. This was back this summer. I kind of paused for a second and I was like, "Really?" He goes, "How did you do it?" And I said, "I drove the truck for a lot of years before I did it." I said, I'm going to just give you a word of advice.
Don't do it.
Have a lot of money if you're going to do it that way, and you're just going to go start buying trucks, or at least go to work for a trucking company as as a dispatcher, start at the bottom and learn the business before you go out and and buy into this business that you don't even know anything about.
Can you imagine never having worked in a kitchen, never having worked in a restaurant, be like, "I'm going to go buy a Pizza Hut and I'm going to have my buddy run it"?
Yeah.
Well, that's sorry, Christian.
No, I'm just saying it's insane. That was the end of my sentence. It was going to be a period after that.
Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah. What's crazy about that story is the same exact thing happened to me at the bank probably a year or two ago. Yeah. It was right around the time that motor went. I had to wire some money to that Peterbilt. So I went in the bank to do the wire transfer. And the guy was telling me, and it was kind of the same situation. He had somebody else and he was just going to buy the truck, and him and his buddy were going to buy a truck or two, and his buddy worked for like UPS or something, was going to run the truck. I kind of just shook my head like, buckle up, man.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know.
No, and it's true, because the perception is when someone even just gets close to the business and doesn't know anything, and they meet somebody that might be an owner operator or something, they think they just make all the money and have no expenses. I've had friends of mine that said, "Hey, I've got 60, 70 grand sitting around and I'm not making any money in the market. And can I buy a truck and can you put it to work?" I'm like, "No." There's no way I would do that to you.
I went that route, Russ, when I first got started. Yeah. And out on my own, and it worked out well for some. That was the depleting 401k, and they just said, "I don't care, I'm getting my butt kicked on the market." But what they aren't prepared for, and you can have that conversation, say, "Sure, I'll take that $70,000, and considering X and Y happen, you're going to have a 17% return at the end of the year." And you can give a modest return on that investment, not the revenue of the company, but just on that investment. What they're not prepared for is you buy that $70,000 truck, and 20,000 miles down the road, that Cummins blows up.
And you got to put 30, 40.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, that 70s, right? 50. All of a sudden it's over 100. And now you're looking for a rate of return. It's going to be a 4-year recovery at this point at 17%. Yeah. So they're not prepared. They'll tell you that's okay. I've got extra if I need to throw into it. But save the relationship and save your time.
Yeah. And that's how I felt. I don't even want to get into, especially with friends of mine, I don't want to even get into explaining to them, "Hey, this broke. It's going to cost you $5,000, or the DPF is clogged. We're going to have to, drill the filter, or bake the filter."
We have a $6,000 one box we have to put into it.
Yeah, in the Freightliners. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, this is a hard thing to do if you're going to choose to be an owner operator. We've got some great ones here on the show. Mackie's been doing it for 40 years. Has it been over 40, right, Mackie?
Yeah, it's been August was 40. But 40. I'd like to put a win on this.
Do it. We always value your opinion.
I started driving. I have never, ever in my life been a company driver. I've always drove for owner operators, said, "Here's my truck, go do your job. No news is good news." So basically, I've been an owner operator, but never owned my own truck until 10 years ago. So I never had relationship with my brother in Texas, which he's been on the show and like that too. And he thought, wow, I think maybe my wife and I, we're just going to, when we retire, we're going to get a truck and travel around the country. I says, well, if that's what you want to do, you know. And now I've been hanging around with him for like 5 years and stuff. He ain't going to do that no more.
Mark it down.
He says, I don't understand this. You've got to spend all this money to fix your truck. What's broke now? You know, I can't live like that. You know, and the thing is that if you want to be a company driver, then you go, you drive the truck, it breaks, you tell the guy it's broke, fix it so I can work. When you're an owner operator, no, you have to try to, the preventive maintenance is the key to the whole thing. There's nothing cheaper than a little bit of grease.
And Jim's a guy that I can tell you guys, we've had countless phone calls over the years when he's outside laying under the truck trying to figure something out, this or that. He's always worked on his own stuff to save him money. But you're right, Jim. When it breaks, you know, and if you're not prepared, you got to go get a loan. You got to take care of it. You got to have some help, some support behind you. You're the business owner, and you know.
You have to think about it's $120 or more an hour for somebody to fix your truck.
Yeah.
It's not beyond me to sit out there in the parking lot and change an air compressor, a water pump. I mean, we do that. As an owner operator, you learn to do that to save $120 an hour.
Yeah, Jim, you've done that. I've been on the phone with you when you were doing many things like that.
And Russ, there's the old adage that says that anytime two people compare, one person loses. That's the reason nobody ever shares salaries with other people, because one always walks away feeling disenfranchised. Mm-hmm. I think it's the same thing. We usually hear about the glory days on how good things are when we're owner operators and guys get out there. But if you look at, you know, the consistency between a company driver and an owner operator, you know, there are guys that are happy at doing both. And I think the ebbs and flows of the business kind of make them more equal. Right now, people are saying, well, it's not really a good time to be an owner operator. You can still make money.
Yeah, but you guys making money. Yeah,
still have guys making money. And by the way, if you do it and you do it right, when we're not recovering and we're growing again out of this thing, you're going to be perfectly prepared with assets that are paid off and a low overhead that you're going to be able to gain in the market. I also feel, though, that, you know, there is a good time to be a company driver during times like this. If you're going to roll the dice and start your own business, you do it on the way up and not the way down. And I think that I was reading an article that said there was 92,000 for-hire carriers that had been authorized to be in the FMCSA the year before last. So, you know, there's this huge ramp of people coming to the market. But that's also scary for owner operators, you know, guy company owners that know what it costs per mile versus someone walking in. I mean, how long has it taken us to get dialed in on what our exact cost per mile is and what our expenses are, and how to negotiate losses on insurance claims, right? And how to work on alternators on yourself inside the parking lot versus hiring somebody to do it. Or are buying recaps a good or bad decision? Or what kind of truck do I have? What kind of motor? You know, do I progressively shift? Do I standard 60 miles an hour? There's a wealth of information both on this podcast and all over this country that we take for granted. But when you walk in that door, if you rewind the clock 25, in Mackey's case, 45 years, think about how green we were when we walked in. And the reason we're successful is not because we knew it all. It's because we've learned a lot. And we haven't learned it all, and we're still learning. So to me, I would not walk in as an owner operator that does not have experience in this model. I think it's fine for guys that have done it and have an opportunity with good equipment and good loans. But if you got to go into a place that's going to charge you a huge amount of money on a high mileage truck, I'd park that for another day.
And to kind of
that right there is the whole reason why anybody I ever meet out here that hardly has any experience whatsoever, and they're starting from just, you know, coming right into the industry, and they're like, yeah, well, I want to do this, and I want to go out and get my own truck, and I'm just wait a year, just wait a year. Work for these people for a year, learn as much as you absolutely can. Listen to all these old guys out here. Learn this, learn that before you ever make a decision, because there's too many people that'll come into this and then just lose from get-go because they don't know anything.
Well, and Nate, you're exactly right. And to piggyback off of what Christian was saying, you know, there's also a huge reward and upside if you run your business smart. And I'm going to tell you, these highwaymen we have on here, these are a really good group of seasoned guys that have done it right and do it right. And you know, so there it can be done, and it can be extremely rewarding. I know it was rewarding for me. I've seen Ray become really successful. I've seen Mike Doty become successful at this. I've seen, you know, Kevin and Nate, you know, these guys have, you know, done really well and become successful. There's a reason why, because they're willing to do the sacrifice it takes, because they know that the end result is that the success that is at the end. But it's a journey, it's a process, and you need to be prepared. Like Jim said, like Nate said, Nate's another one. Him and Kevin, those guys will work on anything on their trucks, and they'll put a Band-Aid on it and limp it back to Kevin's house, or do it on the side of a rest area. I mean, these guys have, you know, done that for years. I'm proud of that. I mean, these are good guys. But if you wouldn't have done that, Kevin, or operated the way you've operated and worked on your own stuff, you, Nate, if you wouldn't have done that, you, Ray, how do you think you'd be? Would you be in the same position you're in today? Would you? You wouldn't. It took that. And that's, I guess, what I'm saying. It can be rewarding. And there are times, there's, like Christian said and Mike said, there's ebbs and flows in this business. And when it's up, it's up. And man, that's when you can really save, get ahead, you know, really get ahead. Because it's always going to have that. It's always going to fluctuate. It's like,
like Christian said, if you can keep, you know, if the guys that make it through this next year or two, like, and come out on the other side, they're going to be, you know, when that market starts to, when we get on the other side of this mild recession, quote unquote,
yeah,
you know, they're going to be sitting really nice, you know.
Yeah.
So
there's another thing there's another thing that nearly kills so many of us, and that's we see these big dollar signs, and when we first get into it, some of us don't understand this industry is measured in pennies. Your profits are measured in pennies. You're not measuring it in dollars. And I'll be completely honest, in the last 2 months, that's almost killed me until I figured that out.
Yeah. I mean, you know,
you deal with dollars and measured in pennies.
I remember,
I mean,
when I was
being an owner operator is like, it all looks good on paper. It looks like you make thousands and thousands of dollars on paper.
Yeah.
And it's all said.
Yeah, there's a difference. Yeah, there's a difference between gross and net, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Just a little.
And you know what you said?
And there's a big
Russell,
difference for owner operators.
Yeah.
What's that, Ray?
Russell mentioned good support group. And I got to say, over, you know, as long as I've known Kevin, Nathan, and, you know, all of these guys, that we'll spend hours on the phone trying to troubleshoot a truck. You know, hey, this happened or that happened. And we'll spend hours on, you know, on the phone
helping
talking to each other. Hey, you know, we troubleshoot these trucks. And all of we all have trucks that are similar or the same. Few similarities are different or whatever, but we're swapping part numbers. Hey, I found this part on the internet or whatever. We're like that all the time. Me, Kevin, Nathan, we help each other out. Whatever, you know, if something I run into that I'm not aware of, I'll call Kevin or something. Usually they've ran into it or vice versa. You know, we help each other out that way, and we even provide part numbers and everything that are interchangeable between our trucks.
And that's a really good point,
Good
Ray.
support system.
You know, that support system, you know, you were a leader of that years ago, Ray, on our fleet. You started, you know, banding with guys and drivers to help them. And I've always been in those group chats and texts with you. And, you know, that's, if you want to know what it takes to be an owner operator, it takes it takes all these things. And knowing your numbers and having a support system, you know, it takes all of that. So, like I said earlier, Mike, and I know you were laughing inside because, you know, when a guy first jumps into a full service lease truck and is going to be an owner operator, and then, you know, a couple weeks down the road is like, I can't live on, you know, $1,500 a week or $1,200 a week. You know, doesn't understand how his pay works, doesn't understand his numbers. You're in the wrong place. You know, maybe not the wrong business. Maybe you're a good driver, But that's when you need to be a company driver.
Mhm.
It's not easy.
Something that I've always believed, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. If you get into owner op and you've got the expenses of a truck payment, trailer payment, lease, rental, take your pick, you're looking at making about the same, if not less than what you were as an owner op till that truck and trailer is paid off.
Sometimes it's true, yes.
Yeah, it's going to depend on several things, the market, how you can cut costs yourself, in other ways. And so there's several different things to tackle, but there's a lot of times.
Well, what about home expenses? Consider your home expenses too. If your home expenses if you need $5,000 to pay out every single month in your home expenses, you may not survive it in a lease.
You need to be you need to get a job, not for yourself.
You need to win the lottery if you got that many expenses.
Honestly, that's how I've been able to survive a few instances, because
Mike's been smart about it
or anything. I was gonna, before COVID, I was gonna move, get a house and all that. So I just kind of stayed where I'm at. I don't.
You keep your home,
bills.
You keep your bills down. I don't care how much money you make. I mean, that's something, I've learned a long time ago. Living, among or within your means, especially if you're going to, be an owner operator and open a business, because there are times, Christian, I know you've done this as an owner as a owner of a company. Mike's done this. I've done this. I was talking to another owner of a trucking company yesterday about the same thing, that, I can't tell you how many times over the last decade that I stopped paying myself because I was scared, because I need to make sure my employees are paid. I need to make sure the lights are paid and the internet and everything. It happens. And then I can't, there's times it's been wonderful. And, I could have went out and added more expenses to my life. It's the same thing. If it's just like running a business, a brick and mortar business, running a truck as an owner operator, it's the same thing.
I met a guy in Pennsylvania. There's a goggle factory, apparently, that they redid. It's over there near towards, what's the Pennsylvania beer everybody drinks?
Budweiser?
No, it's
not Budweiser. Yingling. Is that
Yingling.
It? Yeah, it was down from there. And we're doing the audio video installation. It was a pre-trucking thing. And this man came up, he had an old Woody station wagon. And I looked at it, I was like, well, that thing's pretty dope. It's like an 80s, it's like just old. It's not like a cool wagon. It was just like the old Ford wagon with the wood panel inside. So it's probably a $1,200 vehicle. Said, what's up to the guy, just say nothing else. What are you doing? It's go inside, get to work, get here a couple minutes early. It's like 3 or 4 hours go by. I'm up on this ladder. He comes in the room and I was like, hey, what's up? And I see him talking to my boss. I'm like, okay, this guy's just wandering around talking to people. When I get down from the ladder like 30 minutes later, I was like, yeah, I met that guy. He's got this cool little vehicle out in the parking lot. I said, probably not $1,200, but it looks a lot better than it is up close. He's a car nut. We start talking. He says, yeah, he's the owner of this place. I was like, the owner of what? He's like, the entire complex. Like, we're paid by him. We're putting in a $200,000 audio system, and that's what the guy's driving. But the point was, talking to him the next day, I said, why do you drive something like that? He said, don't quote me because I'm stealing it from somebody else. He said, but the rich live like they're poor and the poor live like they're rich.
Yeah.
And he said, if you keep that in mind and you're always diligent with your money, you'll always have money. But if you spend money, you'll always have to go earn more. And I mean, from that day, it was, the business, when it would make money, it's not like we just write checks out of it. You don't need, the job isn't to draw the equity out of the business. It's to go ahead and continue to reinvest it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. That's a good story.
I remember when I'd only been driving for like 5 years, and I had a good friend. He says, you do pretty good at that driving truck and everything. He says, I'd like to try to do that. I think I want to be a truck driver. And I says, no, I tell you what, before you make that decision, you make one trip with me. We went from Iowa to Chicago, and then we come back. He come back home and he says, I don't want to be a truck driver.
Yeah, it's
one load.
I don't know if there's an in between with truck driving. You either
do it or you don't.
Yeah.
I was gonna say you either got it or you don't.
Or you do it long enough until you don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, especially over the road. Local might be a little bit different, but the over the road guys, you either can I like that. Like I could go back. That's why with the whole business thing and me, buying the trucks that I did, I'm like, man, I don't even care. They can come repo these. I'll go back on the road tomorrow and pay my bills.
Yeah. I actually teamed up one time. Remember, Russell, my friend Gerald? I teamed up with a friend of mine, and he was a good truck driver in the city. He drove the city. We both worked at the same company for a while, and whenever I came out on the road, he's all intrigued and really wanted to do this. So I hired him as a team driver. So we were running teams, and we were out for 2 weeks. He was homesick. He got so homesick. He literally quit on me. We got back to San Antonio after being out on the road for less than a month, and he quit on me. He didn't come back to the truck. Yeah, he was out. He didn't even have the heart to tell me he was quitting. He just didn't show up back at the truck.
It's not for everybody. This
isn't a business you can fake it until you make it.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, I always thought you either love it and I loved it. As a driver, I loved it. Absolutely. Just like you, Mike. It did not bother me to be gone. I missed my family, and stuff. There were sacrifices I made with my 2 older sons. I didn't see them very often. But they knew what I was doing. But I loved it. I loved every minute of it.
Yeah. And I joke about not paying, if I can't pay the truck payments, but I've lost sleep over that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
No,
I know.
Yeah.
All right, guys. What a great conversation. So let's get on to some trucking questions with Kumar. Let's see if we can get some St. Jude's money here. We're getting close to this. Joel, what do you got?
Recycled questions with Kumar.
No, I actually got some questions this week.
Thank God.
Freshly squeezed questions.
I don't know.
Who wants Kumar?
3 weeks.
If you don't remember.
Mike,
I'll say Kumar. I'll say Kumar. Yeah.
Mike, why don't you both take it?
I figure as much as Kumar's cost me this year, my Christmas is going to be pretty good.
Yeah,
So 25.
Kumar's been watching all the old shows.
If Kumar loses, Mike pays 25 and Christian pays 25. They both got you. And if Kumar wins, I'll pay 50 to St. Jude's.
So
my bill's going to be so high. I already know.
I need to calculate that, but it's a lot.
I'm
it's
going
a
to
lot.
sell something.
Start up a payment plan.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
you ready?
We're ready, Joel.
Okay, question 1. Ready, Kumar?
I'm ready.
All right.
Come on, drivers.
This might be a little subjective, but which of these might a truck driver bring first, or which one would you bring first? Is it A, cooler, B, a hat, C, a mounted cell phone holder, or D, a seat cover?
Would you bring first,
Which of these might a truck driver bring first?
like when you're going on the road to bring with you?
Like of importance,
Yeah.
like a cooler, a hat, a mounted cell phone holder, or a seat cover.
Okay.
I'd say a cell phone holder. That sounds important.
Cell phone holder.
Well, the hat's not important.
Cool.
I'd say that's more or less of a personal preference question.
Drivers. He
Is
said.
there any wrong answers to this?
Drivers. He said.
Actually, on the internet.
Cell phone holder. What do you think? A cooler, a cell phone holder, a hat, or what? A purse? A towel?
A seat cover.
Seat cover. I knew it was something weird.
If you're a driver prone to accidents, a seat cover would probably be the best.
What do you say, drivers?
Cell phone holder.
You agree
Cell
with
phone
him?
holder.
All right.
I don't agree. I thought it was.
I would say a cooler.
Left. He's like,
Yeah, I'd say a cooler.
I mean, I can't say hat because that gets put on my head every. So that don't even count.
Christian had to go to he had a meeting at 6.
Oh, God.
CB radio talk.
He told me.
CB radio talk. A seat cover is actually a hot woman driving a vehicle next to you.
So what's the consensus there, drivers?
I would go cooler.
Me too.
I'm with Kevin.
Coca-Cola.
All right,
I'll go with
Ray,
Kevin.
he's with
I'll go
Kevin.
with
That's
Kevin.
enough. There you go. We say coolers, Joel.
All right. Well, darn it. On here, it was C, mounted cell phone holder.
Yeah. Safety first.
Well, dang it.
Before you eat.
Hands free.
So,
Like if you
what's
got
that
transplant
cell phone holder
required.
going to do for you when you break down, though?
Yeah,
Told
You
you.
going to eat it?
Right.
you ain't gonna eat that.
At least you have someplace to put your cell phone.
Speaking of eating, why do French people eat snails?
Oh, Christian said his computer crashed. He's coming back.
Oh, okay.
They don't like fast food. All right. Question number 2.
Oh, my God.
Here we go. When driving your rig, what is one thing you should do to try and keep yourself and everyone else on the road safe? Is it A, stay in the right lane? Is it B, slow down? Is it C, stay relaxed on the highway? Or is it D, use a dash cam? When driving your rig, Kumar, what is the one thing you should do to try to keep yourself and everyone else safe on the road?
It's a tough question.
Finally.
I'd say slow down.
Kumar says, slow down.
Read the answers again, Joel, for the drivers.
A, stay in the right lane. B, drive slow. C, stay relaxed on the highway. Or D, use a dash cam.
Nowadays, I'll say damn.
What do you say, traveling Mike?
I think the answer is going to be stay in the right-hand lane, but my personal preference was being relaxed because if you're stressed out, you tend to make mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with Mike on that one.
Yeah,
I am too.
Yeah,
we're all going to go that, Joel.
that was a toss-up for me between
Stay
those
relaxed.
Well, Mike, you had it right the first time. On here, they had A, stay in the right lane.
Well, that's what he said.
Yeah,
and stay relaxed.
Well, that was his answer. Yeah, and there was only one answer. So
who are you giving it to?
We're giving it to Mike. Stay in the right lane.
Good.
All right.
1-1.
All right, 1-1.
My dude.
Trick me.
My man.
Trick me. All right, Kumar, question 3. What is one thing to be prepared for when becoming a truck driver? Or which of one of these are the worst thing? Is it A, traffic? Is it B, long hours? Is it C, annoyed customers? Or is it D, lack of company? Which is the one thing to be prepared for when becoming a truck driver? What would you say, Kumar? Traffic, long hours, annoyed customers, or lack of company?
Long hours. What's that?
He says long hours.
Lack of company.
Traffic, I guess.
Traffic, I think it'd be the right answer.
I mean, I would say E, all of the above.
Yeah, I was waiting for the all of the above. So what do you guys give us a consensus here, drivers?
Are these trick questions?
Hey, with Joel, you never know.
I had to get something different.
I mean, I think traffic is, just my opinion, I hate traffic more than I do the long hours. Being lonely out here.
So you're thinking of a new guy coming into the business. That's right, Joel? That's what you're talking about?
Yeah. I know what we're saying.
So one of the biggest things, I think, whoever said, I know, Kumar, what'd you say?
Long hours.
Long hours. So think about it, guys. One of the first things that was kind of a shocker to me was, whoa, I've been alone for 12 hours. Now I'm just going to sleep alone and then do it again, day in, day out. So I would say lack of company.
That's mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree with that too.
Yeah, I can agree with that too.
Yeah. Well, what was it, Joel? Go ahead, Ray.
No, just say, if you're prepared to drive long hours, new drivers, I can realize, hey, after I got up from the seat after 6 hours, I can't feel my butt cheeks.
Yeah,
I quit.
With my students, what I find, yes, all of them are problems, but driving 10 hours on a road trip in your car versus driving 10 hours in a semi, there's a big difference. And the majority of my new drivers can't make a full shift the first couple of weeks. They have to build up their stamina for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Well, all right. The internet consensus on here was, you ready? B, long hours.
Yeah.
It really is all of the above.
Kumar got another one.
Yeah.
Well, mark one down for Kumar.
Yeah. I just think about it driving 6 hours to Michigan or 6 hours to Kentucky. I'm like, I'm dead. So I can't imagine doing that day in and day out,
Question
I can't
3.
imagine doing your job.
Question 4.
Yeah.
How many pounds of stuffing do Americans eat on Thanksgiving?
Is that the question?
Yeah.
The hot dog to the moon. Sure.
We have some multiple choices.
American or total?
It's whoever gets closest.
How many pounds?
How many pounds of stuffing do Americans eat?
You mean tons?
Tons.
24,000 tons.
Let's go.
I'll do 24,001 ton. No. Bob.
I'll go 25,000 tons.
I'll go 14.
You had no idea in the first place. 100,000
You go
tons.
14,000 tons. Or I don't know.
14,000 pounds of tons? Is that what you
Pounds of tons. 14,000 pounds of tons.
I don't know. I'm
I'll go
looking it up.
15,000. We don't even know.
50. 50,000.
Did anybody? I'm looking it up. 40 million whole turkeys are eaten. Wow,
40 million tons.
it's a lot of turkey.
I thought we were talking about stuffing, though.
I know we are. I'm looking for it, and the turkey popped up.
Look, he asked the question, didn't even have the answer.
Well, it's Thanksgiving. I just threw it out there.
How many hot dogs?
80 million pounds of cranberries. Wow. Yeah, this one doesn't say. I'll find out. I'll let you guys know.
All right. Hold up the show. All right. All right, Kumar, back to the show. Question 4. Which one of the following skills are very important while on the job? Is it A, quick reaction time, B, teamwork, C, performance skills, or D, communication skills? Which are the most important while on the job? That's what they should say.
A. Quick reaction
Quick
time.
reaction time. What do you think, highwaymen?
Hey,
I'm going to say communication.
yeah, communication.
Communication, quick
Yeah, I'm
reaction.
gonna go with communication.
Communication anymore. Fine, we're gonna go with that. Number 4, D. Ding, ding, ding. Communication skills. Can't reiterate that enough, but they're all important.
We spend $96 million on stuffing every year.
Okay, that's a good answer, Mike, because I cannot find how many pounds or tons. We'll roll with that. You were wrong, Kumar.
Kumar, what do you call a pony with a cough?
I don't know what.
A little horse. All right. Question 5.
Who won the last one?
Yeah, who won, Joe? I was looking up the turkey thing.
Drivers.
Drivers. Okay, we're tied.
2-2. Kumar, what is very important to keep an eye on while driving?
Come on, drivers. This is it.
Is it A, the tires?
Cost me
Is it B,
$50?
the traffic behind you? Is it C, the GPS? Or is it D, your Sirius radio channel?
What was the question?
What is
dog trucking?
very important to keep an eye on while driving? Is it the tires, the traffic behind you, the GPS, or your Sirius radio?
You got to listen to Road Dog Trucking, Kumar.
What do you think, Kumar? Let me repeat the question.
I think he's trying to make me say serious radio, but
Seriously.
I think I'm going to go with GPS. Gotta know where-
GPS. What do you think, highwayman? What is very important to keep an eye on while driving? Is it your tires?
Traffic.
Traffic behind you?
GPS.
I was gonna say, what does the traffic behind you have to do with it?
I agree with these
Everybody-
guys. Ray, you good? Traffic?
Yeah, I am.
All right. Who got it?
No one. It was the tires.
Tires.
That was for the win. Drivers.
You can't even see the tires while you're driving.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, Joel, we're going to contest this.
Got to stick your head out the window.
It was 2-2, Christian.
You got to go back to
what's the
turkey
question?
joke then.
Read the question again.
What is very important to keep an eye on while driving? Is it your tires, your traffic, your GPS, or your Sirius radio channel?
So Kumar said your Sirius radio channel. No, your GPS. He said your GPS. The drivers said the traffic around you.
Man, you should watch that.
And
But he said
Joel's
behind you.
behind
Yeah,
you.
That
And
was
Joel's trying to say it's your tires.
Well, I don't know. You said while driving was in the question. So how are you checking your tires while you're driving, Joel?
While driving.
So
I don't know.
Christian-
I didn't make
I think he forgot a part of the question.
I'm going with GPS because that's who I'm with, but you're right. It is traffic. Seriously, Henry has those things that check your tire inflation while you're driving.
Oh,
down the
Henry
road.
Albert.
Thank you, Ray. Appreciate it. By the way, what kind of exercise?
Do we have hey, Joel, do you have a fresh tiebreaker question here? This is for big money.
Oh, you got to get with a cranberry question. I thought that was it.
It's Christian, I asked a question. I could not find the answer on the internet. After I asked it, I thought it'd be easy. Google, how many pounds of stuffing do Americans eat every year? And I left everybody hanging because I don't know. And Google didn't come up with anything. But then Traveler
internet
Mike
has
came
let
up
you
with
down.
how much? What'd you say? 96 million spent on it, Mike?
Sorry,
No.
I was muted there. It was, let me pull it back up again. 96 million on seasoned breadcrumbs and stuffing.
So that was, I said that'll work because we couldn't find the pounds, the tonnage.
We eat 483,000 pounds of pumpkins on Thanksgiving.
40 million turkeys.
Can you come up with a question?
Christian, can anyone come up with a question?
All
How many
right, what is
Jacksons are in
the
the Jackson
average
Five?
price of a 16-pound? I found a list of Thanksgiving stuff statistics.
Dude, we need a tiebreaker. Get a good one.
Let me find something good. Let's see.
Should just lied. Huh?
How about we have
The
whoever gets closest
expected
without going
number
over?
of
What's that, Christian?
I was going to say, why don't we see if we get like how many accidents, preventable accidents, Joel has been in? That needs to get the closest without going over.
I got one for you.
Go ahead.
How many extra calories do the average American eat on Thanksgiving Day? How many extra calories?
2,000.
What's the standard calories?
10,000.
Well, 2,000 is your normal standard. Yep.
So I'd say they
So I'd
double
say
up.
3,500.
All right, Mike.
5,000.
Well, we
6,000.
I'll go 4,000.
I was going to say, double up. So 4,000 if they average.
Yep.
I'm going 4,800, Mike. 4,800.
Okay. Americans eat at least 1,000 to 2,000 more calories at Thanksgiving dinner than typical meals.
Right in there, Kumar.
Nice.
All right, Mike, what was the question? We need the tiebreaker here.
Well, we can do, here we go. Number of U.S. holiday or U.S. Thanksgiving holiday travelers.
Okay.
All
So it's Kumar versus the drivers, whoever's closer. Drivers can come up with a number and Kumar can come up with a number.
Yeah,
It's going
come
to
up with
cost
a
me $50 or you guys 25.
So number of U.S. Thanksgiving holiday travelers. I guess that would mean in the air too. If they're just traveling, it doesn't just mean the road.
So are we waiting for Kumar to answer first?
Yeah,
or
wait.
Can we throw one out there? Okay.
No, you could throw one out there.
60 million.
54.6 million.
54.6. Mike says Ray, Kevin, Nate, Jim, Creech. You guys with him? Think you need to bump it up?
Yeah, I'll go
That
with
was
that.
kind of almost an exact answer, yeah.
Okay, I'll go 40 million.
He says 40. The drivers say 54.6. Mike.
Man, I think Mike is 53.4.
Wow. I said 60.
53.4.
Really?
I think
It's probably been on the news though, and traveling Mike's at home watching headline news or whatever, and they're talking about it.
Fuel went up.
Yeah,
I came
I'm
back to this
cheating.
spring.
I did Google it, but it does. As of November 15th, AAA predicts 54.6
Googled
million
it.
people will travel 50 miles or
We
more.
can't charge Mike. We cannot charge Christian and Mike Doty.
No, but we can definitely charge you, Russ, can't we?
Well, I'll tell you what, this was fun for the sake of Thanksgiving, and I'm happy, I'm blessed. I will go ahead and throw my 50 in to St. Jude's.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll pay half of that for you.
Oh boy,
And he'll pay 25.
And I'm going to watch you guys pay and eat 2,000 calories next week just for you guys.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, this was fun, and it's good to be back on the show. We won't have a show next week. It's Thanksgiving, the day before when we record on Wednesday nights. So Christian and I, Mike, I didn't get a chance to talk to you today. I've been real busy, but I was going to talk to you about it today. And just so you guys know, we were talking about possibly doing it every other week. I think it'd be a little easier on our schedules, but also I think it's more impactful. So you guys, give us any input you got, drivers, if we do this every other week. Kumar liked it. Christian liked it. Mike, we'll talk tomorrow.
I think that I'll start driving every other week now.
So you and Ray are on the same schedule? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, he'll be on the race floaty schedule.
Their teams.
Yeah. Well, you guys have a safe and happy Thanksgiving. I know I'll be talking to pretty much all of you before then, but anyone that's listening out there, keep the shiny side up. Have a really nice Thanksgiving. And Christian, you got anything else? I got it. Don't worry. It's coming.
All right. No, then I'm good.
Cody,
good.
you got anything else?
I'm good.
Yeah. Joel?
Buckeyes.
Go Buckeyes. Go Jets. Go Guardians and go Cavaliers.
Vikings.